Please direct your attention to the flag and join me as we sing our national anthem. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof
Please bow your heads with me. God in heaven, it is our privilege to invite you here as the guest of honor on this day of commencement at Troy University, Montgomery. It is our request that you would bless this graduating class of fall 2014, but more than that, and of first importance, we desire that you would be here with us this evening. Among other things, Lord, you are the creator of the human mind, which you modeled in some fashion after your own great mind. Though we acknowledge that your thoughts are infinitely higher and more profound than others, we glory in the notion that we may, on our own level, think some of our thoughts after you in this place. Thank you for the precious gifts of knowledge and discovery. I ask on behalf of those gathered here that you would indeed bless each of these graduates, give them the grace to make a difference for the good wherever they may find themselves in the years ahead. For those who will pursue further education, grant not only the knowledge they will need in their chosen fields, but also wisdom to apply that knowledge to life as it really is. For those who will be going directly into the workforce, give a sense of what is right and good and appropriate in the often confusing issues they will face. For those in military service, may they draw courage and strength from you. May they serve our country and all of humanity with integrity and honor. For all of these graduates and the families of which they are a part, we ask that they may make a significant contribution to the general welfare of society. May they especially be a blessing to those whose lives they personally touch. And now, may you be pleased with what is done here this evening. Thank you for your presence. Amen.
Please be seated. Welcome and good evening. My name is Lance Tatum, and I serve as the Vice Chancellor for the Montgomery campus. We are pleased that you've joined us to celebrate the accomplishments of 140 graduates, 110 of which are participating in our commencement ceremony this evening. These graduates join the ranks of more than 100,000 Troy alumni scattered throughout the world. And tonight's celebration marks the 128th annual fall commencement for Troy University. At this time, it is my pleasure to recognize the members of the platform party and our special guests. As I introduce them, I would ask each one to stand and remain standing until I complete the introductions. I would also ask that the audience please hold your applause until I've finished with the group so that we may recognize everyone at one time. On the platform, Dr. Jack Hawkins Jr., Chancellor. Tonight's guest speaker, Mr. Gene Krantz, NASA Flight Director during the Gemini and Apollo programs, who will be more formally introduced later by Dr. Hawkins. Dr. Earl Ingram, Senior Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs. Dr. John Dew, Senior Vice Chancellor for Student Services and Administration. From our Troy University Board of Trustees, the Honorable Lamar P. Higgins, the Honorable Ed Kroll, and the Honorable Karen Carter. Associate Provost and Dean of the Graduate School, Dr. Diane Barron. Representing our academic colleges, Dr. James Reinhardt, College of Arts and Sciences. Dr. Judson Edwards, Sorrell College of Business. Dr. Catherine Hildebrand, College of Education. And Dr. Mark Tillman, Interim Dean, College of Health and Human Services. The Wallace D. Malone Distinguished Faculty Award recipient, Dr. Diane Orlovsky, who carried the university mace in the processional. Faculty members from the Montgomery campus. Ms. Kelly Evans, President, Montgomery Campus Gamma Beta Phi Honor Society, who presented our invocation and who will deliver the benediction this evening. Special guests joining us in the audience, Mr. Robert Grenfell Jr., President, Publisher, Montgomery Advertiser. Retired Air Force Colonel Joe Panza, Executive Director of the Air University Foundation at Maxwell Air Force Base. Mr. Mike Jenkins. The staff from the Maxwell Base Educational Services Office. And Mr. Sam Whalum, past President, Montgomery Metro Alumni Chapter. Please join me in recognizing these individuals. You may be seated. It is often stated by our next speaker that great universities stir great emotions. For Troy University, that phrase is especially felt, and that emotion begins with our chancellor. For over 25 years, Dr. Hawkins has led Troy University on a journey to both national and international distinction. His leadership has formed the foundation upon which Troy University has seen significant growth in all facets of the university. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Chancellor of Troy University, Dr. Jack Hawkins, Jr.
Thank you so much, Dr. Tatum, and thanks for the great job you're doing. Dr. Tatum has held many titles throughout his experience and work life with Troy University, from faculty to dean to vice chancellor, and we're proud of the work that he's doing now as he leads our Montgomery campus forward. We have a saying at Troy University that busy people are happy people, and we want all of our employees to be deliriously happy, and I think Dr. Tatum is, and it pleases me to be with you this evening. I bring you greetings on behalf of our trustees, and 3 of whom are with us tonight, and I also bring you greetings from those thousands of alumni who are around the world, and I bring you a gift on behalf of the National Alumni Association that I'll mention in just a moment. A few weeks ago, Dr. Ingram and I found ourselves at another ceremony. Actually, there were 3 in Vietnam, where we had 3 graduation ceremonies. And those of you whose memory spans the last 45 years know that just a few decades ago, we were doing battle with the Vietnamese, and today we're educating each other. I think that's the change that we'll see in the world, this global village coming together, and I'm very proud that Troy University is known as Alabama's International University. We serve students from 75 different countries, and as I mentioned, Vietnam, we have over 100 Vietnamese studying with us. About half of those started with us in Vietnam and wanted the American experience. And so they've come far away here to Alabama to have that experience. And I say that only because it's what you have at your fingertips, and all of us. And sometimes it's easy to forget, the American way of life. We have problems and challenges in this country, but we don't have millions of people trying to leave. We have millions of people trying to come. That should tell us something about this blessed land that we enjoy today. We want you to be globally competitive, and I know that you are, and I know that you're ready for the next move, but you didn't get ready on your own merits. There are 2 groups that I want to recognize tonight as part of your journey. Now, I would be very clear that the most important ingredient in this equation called higher education is the student. But you can't have a great university without a great faculty. And I would like to ask our faculty, many of whom are sitting on the stage tonight, to stand up and let our graduates say to them, thanks for a job well done. So would the members of our faculty please stand up? Thank you. Thank you so much. There's a second group, perhaps one of the most important groups in the lives of each of you, and that would be your families. We had graduation yesterday, and Dothan and I had several of those graduates, in fact, mothers who said, now I can return to my children. So you'll have an opportunity in the next few days. Now, those of you who are not receiving that graduate degree, I encourage you to rest a few days and then sign up again. Your generation will need a graduate degree. I would like to, however, ask the families to stand up so that all of us can say thank you for your love, your support, and maybe the financial investment you've also made. So would you stand up and let us say thank you? Members of the families. Thank you. Before I introduce our very distinguished speaker this evening, let me say to the graduates that we want your degree to continue to grow in value. One thing that I've learned over all these years is that the value of your degree is not stagnant. It will change over time. We want to add value to that degree. We can't do it as a faculty and a staff or even as an alumni body. We have to have you and your involvement, so please stay involved in your university. That degree has been earned. It's not a Christmas gift. You've earned that degree. And I want you to continue to add value to it, and I know that's part of your plan. So on behalf of the National Alumni Association, I do bring you a Christmas gift. It's 1 year's free membership in the Troy University National Alumni Association. Now, the president, Jerry Williams, asked me to be very specific in reminding you that it's a 1-year gift. We want you to continue many years into the future, so show your Trojan pride and add value to what you've invested in. I'm very proud this evening to introduce to you a gentleman who represents the very best of what this country represents, and I want, as I do so, to thank Mr. Joe Panza with Air University Foundation. Colonel Panza made arrangements for our speaker to be with us this evening, and we're deeply indebted to both Colonel Panza and our speaker for giving his time to us. You know, we often hear in this society the term hero. I often think perhaps we overuse that term as a distinction between the real heroes in life. I would offer to you the textbook definition is a person who possesses noble qualities and exhibits courage in the face of adversity. I think by that definition, our speaker this evening is a true American hero. Gene Kranz is known best for his courage and determination in the face of potential tragedy during the famous Apollo 13 mission. His calm leadership during that critical challenge was immortalized in the 1995 Oscar-winning movie, Apollo 13. A line from that movie reads, "Failure is not an option." I know that reflected your journey. Failure was not an option, nor should it be. That title became the title, or that saying became the title of Mr. Kranz's best-selling memoir that was published in 2002. Those of you in the audience who were around in 1969 probably remember very well when we put a man on the moon. I remember it as though it were yesterday. Our speaker this evening was at the core of that success. He was destined from an early age to work with our space program. His high school thesis explored the idea of flying a rocket to the moon. That's vision. He earned a degree in aeronautical engineering from Parks College in St. Louis before entering the United States Air Force and serving in Korea. And after leaving the Air Force, Mr. Kranz worked for McDonnell Aircraft, testing missile launches off of B-52s. In 1960, he answered the call and joined NASA and began an illustrious career that spanned 37 years. He played major roles in the Mercury, Gemini, and Apollo missions and was responsible for over 6,000 employees and a budget of $750 million. When Neil Armstrong became the first person to step foot on the moon, Mr. Kranz allowed the mission control crew less than 1 minute to celebrate, and he said, "Get back to work. We need to prepare for an emergency should it occur." He's a taskmaster, but he leads from the front and he leads by example. It's indeed my honor to introduce to you, and please extend a warm welcome to a real hero, Mr. Gene Kranz.
Good evening, Chancellor Hawkins, Vice Chancellor Tatum, members of the faculty, graduates, parents, spouses, and friends. I thank you for the opportunity to say a few words this evening. Tonight, is a time of celebration, joy, and achievement. I offer congratulations to the graduates, but also to the parents, spouses, and friends who brought the graduates to this milestone in their life. You're a very diverse group of graduates. Many of you have already been in the workforce, many in military service, and I'm sure some of you have been challenged to raise families. Like many of my early controllers, many of you may be the first in the generation ever to go to college. The diversity of this class made it difficult to find a traditional graduation topic. It's sort of like one size fits all, but one size doesn't fit this graduating class. So I decided to talk about leadership. Virtually all of you know what it takes to work for education and for a living. You understand the complexity of today's work environment, yet you have met many challenges. Today's graduation represents a milestone, a change in direction for your life. Your time at Troy has been a time of preparation, and frankly, I envy what you will see and what you will do in the challenging decades ahead. You carry the hope and aspirations of those who have supported you this far. Now, 60 years ago, at my commencement, I listened closely to the words of the speaker, words that also spoke of the future, words of challenge and promise in the world I was joining. I listened closely, but in no way could I imagine the events, opportunities, and challenges, and the people who would influence the course of my life. When I graduated, President Eisenhower had replaced Harry S. Truman as President of the United States. A fragile peace existed in a little-known country called Korea. There was no internet, no cell phones, no color TVs, no space program, and thankfully no CNN or Fox. My world was much simpler than yours, much less complex than yours today. But my goal was simple. I dreamed of challenging the North Korean fighter pilots in the skies above the Yalu River. And a few short years later, I realized my goal, my dream, flying in the skies over Korea in the company of jet aces. But God had other plans for me. Returning from Korea, I moved to a reserve status and became a civilian flight test engineer, developing the weapons systems for jet bombers at Holloman Air Force Base in the high mountain desert of New Mexico. And little did I know that in another 2 years, my journey would take me to a place called Mission Control. And that one day I would lead the team who would guide the first American to the surface of the moon. And 9 months later, after an explosion in space, return the crew of Apollo 13 safely to Earth. Less than 10 years after graduation, leadership became my role in life, and I think that possibly exists in all of yours. Nothing prepared me to lead. I had no college courses in leadership, and prior to an Air Force Academy, leadership was pretty much do it yourself. We learned by doing. However, when flying in flight test and mission control, every time I was challenged, I found myself at peace, comfortable in my duty, confident in my ability, and willing to take the risks to lead. When I left NASA, I worked at a flight museum and became a crew chief for the B-17 Flying Fortress. I'd fly between 15 and 20 air shows a year. And I sat down and wrote a book in the early years of spaceflight. It was published shortly after the movie Apollo 13 came out. And I titled this book, Failure is Not an Option. And finally, for the first time in writing the book, I recognized the challenges, the events, and particularly the individuals who influenced my life and provided me my life's lesson. Somehow I had absorbed something from them without even knowing it. And these lessons I got from them prepared me for leadership. And I first came to believe that leadership and leaders learn from others, but they are not made by others. Leaders make themselves. My path to leadership began in Toledo, Ohio. My father died when I was 7, leaving my mother with 3 children during the Great Depression. My mother gave me my Catholic faith and a work ethic to carry everything to its conclusion. She taught me integrity, raised me to know who I was and what I stood for. My mother made me a man. To support the family, she moved 4 of us into 1 bedroom, and the other 2 bedrooms were rented by day to the soldiers, sailors, and airmen fighting the battles over Europe and in the Pacific during World War II. Those living in my house became my brothers, teaching me lessons of duty, honor, country. We lived behind the Catholic grade school, and my teacher saw my mother working every day to care for the soldiers in our house. And this teacher taught me discipline, the mental focus to finish all work each day. My goal was to become a naval aviator. In high school, one of my teachers, Sister Patricia, prepared me for the entrance examination to Annapolis. And I received the appointment to Annapolis, but I failed the physical examination because I had been working at the A&P warehouses and my diet for over a year had been brownies and chocolate milk. The day after I received the rejection letter, Sister Mary Mark, my homeroom teacher, taught me of fortitude to endure and continue my drive to fly. Sister Mary Mark taught me that failure is not an option. My flight instructor, Jack Coleman, taught me of confidence, to teach other people to fly to the edge of the aircraft's performance with nothing held back. As a result, I learned to be able to give confidence to others. Francis Gabreski, a jet ace, taught audacity and the role of teamwork in a highly dynamic environment of fighter operations. I was a flight test engineer in the early jet bombers, and Ralph Saylor, my boss, taught accountability, the responsibility for the lives of the crew, the test, and a multi-million-dollar aircraft. The lessons of Harry Carroll, another flight test boss, were probably the most influential in my life next to my mother. Harry was a Renaissance man. He flew bombers in all 3 theaters in World War II. He was a superb engineer. During his time overseas, he wrote poetry, acted and did a theater. He was a scout leader that led the Grand Portage canoe trek along the Canadian border into the Great Lakes. He is featured in featured in CBS TV as the oldest person ever to complete the Outward Bound water survival course. And I asked Harry, why did you do so much? And his answer was simple: think about what I would have missed. Harry taught me to volunteer, the value of volunteering and growing new skills. Another lesson, and maybe his most important one, was the one of use of passion in communications, providing words, sometimes emotional, to inspire others to accept challenges they believed beyond their capacity. Harry had a phrase he used with his people. He says, "When I die, I want to be all used up." And I thought, what a marvelous way to live. All who ever worked for Harry wanted to be just like him. My boss, Chris Kraft, a lifetime mentor in mission control, taught me to build trust and confidence in my people. And when they were ready, give them the trust to lead in great and challenging endeavors. My skills to meet the challenges in life were acquired from these leaders I met along the line in my journey. Now, tomorrow is the first day of the rest of your life. And each day thereafter, you graduates will be provided challenges, experiences, opportunities. In this life, as you move along, you must continue to learn and to grow. Learn from those leaders you work with and work for. Assess the character of those around you, the good and not so good. Evaluate the skills that you see work for others and emulate, improve, and test them. and apply them to your relations and in work. Benefit from others' mistakes. Learn to avoid those practices that by your observation did not work. Broaden your skills by volunteering. Not only does it build skills, but it builds confidence as a leader. Because leadership is simply the responsibility for events and for people. I never gave leadership much of a thought until at Korea I became a flight leader, responsible for the lives of 3 fighter pilots in the high-risk job of fighter aviation. My learning curve was steep. One event that always comes to mind was what I call my leadership moment. And the leadership moment is an event in your life where everything is on the line. The risk is extreme, the outcome is in doubt. The fate of others depends on your leadership ability. My leadership moment came as a young Air Force lieutenant leading a flight of aircraft returning to Korea from Formosa. It was late summer. There were typhoon tracks all over the Pacific. And my flight approached the clouds. They were thousands of feet above our flight level. And with very limited weather time experience, I had to conquer the fear. As I entered the storm, the turbulence was violent, jostling 4 aircraft. Navigation needle was bouncing between the radio beacon and the nearby lightning. I had 1 shot to get this flight down to the runway, and I had to lead a perfect flight. If I failed, we were going to eject over the Pacific during a storm. I got the flight to the ground, and that one leadership moment forever gave me the confidence to lead in a crisis. Leadership is responsibility for events and people. And throughout our life, we're shaped by people, by events and opportunities. And these are the experiences that will shape your destiny as a leader. Your character has been formed to a great deal by your parents, friends, teachers, your work history, and the challenges you have met. And the foundation of leadership is integrity. Your character is the reputation you will carry throughout life. Character engenders trust, and trust provides the foundation for shared values. Shared values are the essential tools to build a team. A few more thoughts as you move forward. Realize your full potential. Your goal from this day forward is to use every aspect of your ability, and not only the new skills that you've acquired in schooling, but in life. It's called full potential. My goal was to fly. It drove me from my earliest youth. It drove my schooling, my reading. It focused my dream. But my instructor in jet training was a driver, perfectionist in the art of flying. One day he criticized my flight, and I turned around to him and I said, "Damn it, I'm doing the best I can." But he looked at me and said, "No, you think you are giving it the best. You're satisfied to graduate from flight training, but you have not elevated your goal to get the best assignment. And to do this, you're going to have to beat the 78 other pilots in your class." Well, he set my goal as Nellis, and he drove me daily. It worked. On graduation day, I achieved the assignment to Nellis with a flying sergeant who was my principal competitor. We all normally use only a small fraction of what we are capable because we're satisfied with our movement and direction towards the goal. But each day, as you get closer to that goal, raise it a notch higher so you're continuing to drive yourself to maximize your potential. Second item, passion, intensity, and communication skills are powerful leadership tools. Harry Carroll's lesson in passionate communications taught me to issue similar challenges to my teams in mission control. Apollo 11 was our first mission to land in the moon. My team's average age was 26. In a few minutes before we started our descent, we locked the control room doors. And those doors would not be reopened until we had crashed, landed, or aborted. My final words to my team were, "I will stand behind every decision you will make. We came into this room as a team, and we will leave as a team." 9 months later, in a desperate bid to save the Apollo 13 crew, I used a different set of words. "We have never lost an American in space, and we sure aren't going to lose one now. This crew is coming home. You got to believe it, your team must believe it, and we must make it happen. Words are instruments to direct, motivate, and create urgency. Develop your word skills. Don't be afraid of using emotion, because the right words expressed with passion will often make the difference between success and failure. Your ego is your enemy. It blinds you. This was a lesson that many controllers learned the hard way. It compromises your character, detracts from your listening skills and your ability to work effectively and obtain trust. We learned this lesson early in the space program because many of us came in from flight test or aviators. And the nature of the work and the risks that we did created huge egos. But we learned that success would only come as a team, so we became one. And we learned to check our ego at the door every day. Leadership moment, I discussed that briefly. Many controllers have experienced this in mission control. We have a document that we call the foundation that's in every office, it's in every document. And the foundations are a reminder of the elements necessary for professional excellence. They're qualities of discipline, competence, confidence, responsibility, toughness, and teamwork. But there's one statement that really stymies all of our young people. It says to always be aware that suddenly and unexpectedly, you may find yourselves in a role where your performance has ultimate consequences. Now that is a mouthful. It's particularly a mouthful for a young person to really grasp and understand. But in mission control, there's no one to back you up. There's no shades of gray, no equivocation. It's go or no go. Your leadership moment as students may come at any time in your home, community, driving to work, eating lunch. You may be called to save a life, challenge the course of a critical event, stand strong for your beliefs, accept risk. When your challenge comes, and it will, I pray that you will have the confidence and the skill to measure up. Final word is the positive attitude. Life always involves challenge, progress, and risk. Your response to challenge and risk is dominated by your attitude in life. If it is possible, you may achieve your goals and inspire others to drive towards theirs. If your attitude is negative, it will start a self-fulfilling prophecy that reduces the possibility of success and increases the probability of failure. Your attitude governs your life, your relationships with others, the way you move through your waking hours, the way you approach your job. Your attitude in life is your destiny. Now, your training at Troy University is your entry into the rest of your life. Tomorrow morning, after you've celebrated and it's quiet, take a few moments to think back to the trajectory of your life. Think of those who helped you get this far, who helped you along the way, encouraged you, those who have already given you something of themselves and you don't even know it. Take the time mentally to thank them. Write them a note, make a call, and say thank you. Thank you for your help in getting me to this point in my life. So I congratulate you. I wish you success in life, and I wish you the success that comes from knowing that every day, in all ways, you've given it your best. Thank you.
Mr. Krantz, thank you so much for a special message, and thank you even more so for a lifetime of leadership which has influenced the future of our great country. Let's say thank you one more time.
Will the candidates for the associate's degree please rise? Chancellor Hawkins, these candidates have completed all the requirements for the associate's degree, and on behalf of the faculty, I recommend that the degree be conferred upon them.
Upon the recommendation of the faculty and approval by the Chief Academic Officer and by the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Troy University and the laws of the state of Alabama, it's indeed a pleasure to confer upon each of you the associate degree which you have earned. Congratulations.
And graduates, if you will move your tassels from the right to the left, you may take your seats. Will the candidates for the bachelor's degree please rise? Chancellor Hawkins, these candidates have completed all the requirements for the bachelor's degree, and on behalf of the faculty, I recommend that the degree be conferred upon them.
Upon the recommendation of the faculty and approval by the Chief Academic Officer and by the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Troy University and the laws of the state of Alabama, it's indeed a pleasure for me to confer upon each of you the bachelor's degree which you have earned. Congratulations.
And graduates, if you will move your tassels from the right to the left, you may take your seats. Will the candidates for the master's degree please rise? Chancellor Hawkins, these candidates have met all the requirements for the master's degree, and on behalf of the graduate faculty, I recommend the degree be conferred upon them.
Upon the recommendation of the graduate faculty and approval by the Chief Academic Officer and by the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Troy University and the laws of the state of Alabama, it's indeed a pleasure for me to confer upon each of you the master's degree which you have earned. Congratulations.
And graduates, you may move the tassels from your right to your left, and you may take your seats. The conferral of the degrees will begin now as managed by the deans. Dr. Tillman.
Will the graduates who have earned the associate's degree please rise and come forward to receive your diplomas. Ashley Ann Butler. Jamikia Elenia Calhoun. Jamie Nicole Cole. Christina Collie Easley. Jonathan Ryan McInerney Elrod. Sharonica Renee Frazier. Bianca Gildersleeve. Stephanie Lane Huffaker. Melanie Deshawn Jones. Christina B. Lynn. Natanya McCall. Tiffany Darlene Plyler. Kimberly Marianne Skaliski. Hannah Noel Skinner. Kadra Clarice Allen. Sharika Latanya Burt. Charity Faith Edwards. Justin Charles Garrison. Chantrell Renee Harris. Carson Timothy Howe. Angelina Williams. Tamikia L. Williams. Ashley Nicole Williams Urquhart. Melanie Virginia Wyatt. Crystal Denise Ziegler.
Will the graduates receiving the bachelor's degree in the College of Arts and Sciences please come forward and accept your diploma? Sakina Hill Broadnax. Jessica E. Calloway. Latasha Danielle Foltz. Melanie Larcina Gray. Stephen Holdren. Katrina Williams Kirk. Jeremy Daniel Kynard. Sherry Denise Marshall. Kanessa J. McReynolds. Jean Autry Moore. Jarvis Jermaine Moran. Julius Jerome Parker. Annetta Jean Perry. Kayla Nicole File. Erica Wilson Pierce. Valerie Denise Temple. Zarek Leon Reeves, Jr. Lyndon Edward Smith. Samuel Wayne Watkins. Brian Demetrius Williams.
Will the graduates receiving the bachelor's degree in the Sorrell College of Business please come forward to receive your diploma? Ryan Cortez Brown. Kyrie Jamal Burke. Justin Michael Coleman. Deborah A. Halloran. Tanika Danielle Hurd. Tiffany Nicole Hill. Donjali Quandandria Jackson Riley. John Matthew James. Okay. Chinetta Denise Giles. Lydia Esther Nichols. LaWanda J. Ray. Sharcy Denise Shorter. Ramon Drapal Wilson.
Will the graduates who have earned the bachelor's degree in the College of Education please come forward to receive your diploma? Tiffany Latrice Daniels. Danielle Latrice Foxhall. Victoria Lynn Murchison.
Will the graduates receiving the master's degree from the College of Arts and Sciences please come forward and accept your diplomas? Abdullah Al-Amin, Master of Computer Science. Vanessa Sanawanda Cunningham, Master of Public Administration. Samrat Pundalik Kadlikar, Master of Science in Computer Science. Travis Jason O'Brien, Master of Science in Computer Science. Monica Lynn Scott, Master of Public Administration. Ashley Wyshetta Thomas, Master of Science in Criminal Justice.
Will the graduates receiving the master's degree in the Sorrell College of Business and the College of Communication and Fine Arts please come forward to receive your diploma? Melis Ala Kwame, Master of Science in Human Resource Management. Kenneth J. Bomeyer, Master of Science in Management. Brittany Denise Dubose, Master of Business Administration. Monica Nicole Eves, Master of Science in Human Resource Management. Mei Ting Gong, Master of Science in Human Resource Management. Denisha Nicole Honecker, Master of Science in Human Resource Management. David Hunter Howell, Master of Business Administration. Adrian Colleen Jackson, Master of Business Administration. Atua C. Kwasi, Master of Business Administration, International. Anjaquita Major, Master of Business Administration. Christian Shanae Murray, Master of Science in Human Resource Management. Patricia Lorraine Richards, Master of Science in Human Resource Management. Marcus James Smith, Master of Science in Human Resource Management. Angela L. Williams, Master of Business Administration. Alicia Denise Young, Master of Science in Human Resource Management. Ashley C. Goodman, Master of Science in Strategic Communication.
Will the graduates who have earned the master's degree in the College of Education please come forward? Valerie Charisse Ellen Porterfield, Master of Science in Counseling and Psychology. Candace P. Anderson, Master of Science in Counseling and Psychology. Geraldine Askew, Master of Science. Nichelle Ava Claudier Babb, Master of Science in Counseling and Psychology.
I got married. Can you add a party on me and my husband's here? Thank you.
Raven Buffer Hardy, Master of Science in Counseling and Psychology. Courtney Danelle Durden, Master of Science in Counseling and Psychology. Ramona Evans, Master of Science in Counseling and Psychology. Kira L. Jefferson, Master of Science in Counseling and Psychology.
It's easy.
Yes, okay. Stephanie Ann Johnson, Master of Science in Counseling and Psychology. Selena Kemp, Master of Science in Counseling and Psychology. Vicki Hall Morrison, Master of Science. Chandrika Renee Osborne, Master of Science in Counseling and Psychology. Shatarius Y. Platt, Master of Science in Counseling and Psychology. Scott Allen Solomon, Master of Science. James Edwin Thomas, Master of Science in Counseling and Psychology. Linda Faye Williams, Master of Science. Sabrina Davidson Wright, Master of Science in Education. Vincent L. Peck, Masters of Science in School Psychometry.
Once again, on behalf of Troy University, we congratulate our graduates and express our appreciation to everyone attending tonight's commencement ceremony. We invite you to please join us for a reception honoring our graduates in the Gold Room on the second floor of Whitley Hall immediately after the close of the ceremony. Graduates, please plan to meet your guests in Whitley Hall at the reception. And now, if you would please stand for the singing of the Alma Mater and the benediction. At the end of the benediction, please remain in place while the platform party and graduates recess. You can find the words to the Alma Mater on page 7 of your program. We invite you to sing along.
Upon the mighty walls of Troy, we meet our lifelong friends to grow in knowledge, truth, and strength. Our
Please bow your heads with me. May God's blessing follow you all as you find new journeys to travel. May you walk safely along the pathways of your dreams. May His gentle hand guide the decisions you will make and the passions that you follow. May your hearts and lives always reflect His love and truth. And may hope be a light within you that you carry into each new day. Let us all go forth in peace and safety with the joy of this commencement celebration in our hearts. Amen.